Ibrahim Traore, mon capitaine, for the win. So Donald Trump sent his missionary to Burkina Faso to ask for forgiveness and to restore the relationship between Burkina Faso and the United States of America after the false accusation that Michael Langley said about Ibrahim Traore and Burkina Faso. They saw how Vladimir Putin treated Ibrahim Traore with respect and dignity. They saw how people around the world, they were protesting in support of Ibrahim Traore. I told you, when you put yourself in certain standard, people surrounding you are going to treat you the same way. That's why we are saying Ibrahim Traore is the president of Africa. Ibrahim Traore is not your mate. What do you guys think? Let me know. Make sure you like the video, you share the video, and you tell me, what do you think?
Everybody, can you imagine May 27, 2025? This man, Mr. Langa, they call him the top generals in military of America, he's still in Nairobi. I think this man go back to the States already. I think he already returned back to the States already. Nairobi, give us updates. Give us updates. We don't want to enter your commission or your country without your consent. Give us updates. What is this man doing in Uganda, Nairobi? What is this man doing in Nairobi? They have made a lot of ministers a lot. I don't even read out the thing they vex me. So Nairobi people, Kenyans, what is this one doing in your country? Tell us before you don't tell us. Don't talk about our country. Don't talk about leave our president. Tell us now, huh? We need to be aware. Mr. Laga.
Michael Langley was interviewed at the Chief of Defense Conference by a female journalist, and he made a few points that I would like to hit on. When the journalist asked him what he meant by President Ibrahim Traore is using the country's mineral resources for his own gains, he said that President Ibrahim Traore is using the resources to be able to fight terrorism. That's what he meant, in other words, because that's what President Ibrahim Traore is doing with the mineral resources. He's using it to ensure that he gets weapons, partner with the right people that will be able to help him counter terrorism. Then he said President Ibrahim Traore is supposed to be using those mineral resources to the benefit and growth of the people. Now, General Langley, if President Ibrahim Traore starts focusing on growth and development in Burkina Faso and focus less on military strength, who will protect all the achievements? Because the terrorists will come for them. The terrorists will come to destroy everything that they have built, just as they are destroying everything they have built now. He has to focus more on countering terrorism and not building the people. Though he's building the people, but that is not where his energy is. That's not where the resources is going to in the majority. He's going to military strength because he knows the importance of country security. Michael Langley also said that the influence of Russia over Africa is not a positive influence. Now they are the ones trying to dictate morals to us. Russia doesn't have a history of colonizing or oppressing African people, and Russia participates in fair trade. That's why President Ibrahim Traore is working with Russia, and the other leaders in the Sahel are also working with Russia. Russia is not like the US when it comes to trade, and the atrocities and the havoc that was caused during colonization to our forefathers was done by the US, not Russia. So the US is not in any moral stance to dictate to us or tell us who we should work with. Africans are not blind, we can see. General Langley also said that Africa doesn't need military strength. Africa doesn't need a military leader as their president in power. Why? I'm going to tell you. So that they will be able to manipulate the democratically elected leaders that will be in power. The reason why they don't like military power or a military leader is because they will not be able to control that leader. It will be very, very difficult for them to manipulate that leader, to turn that leader into their puppets that will carry out their dirty biddings for them. But a democratically elected leader can easily be bought. Most of the leaders in Africa now are Western puppets. It's not a coincidence, it's intentional. They were put there strategically to accomplish all the desires and interests of the West. So they don't want a military leader. You see, it's not for our own good. Everything that General Michael Langley said in that interview was not for the benefit of Africans. They are not in any moral standing to tell us what to do with our resources, who to partner with, or how we should live our lives. He also made claims that the terrorists that are attacking Burkina Faso, they are at their borders. Their own countries are also very, very close to Burkina Faso, Sahel, the Sahel region. But the point there is, it's not only Burkina Faso that shares border with US. There are other African countries that their borders are also close to that of US. So why is Michael Langley so particular about Burkina Faso? And at the same time, the terrorists are not being sponsored by President Ibrahim Traore. You people are the ones sponsoring them, not President Ibrahim Traore. So he's doing his best at the moment. He's taking back military bases. He's developing his country. He doesn't need to partner with you to counter that terrorism, General Michael Langley. You people claim to have the capacity and you can help. Do it on your own. Since you have the capacity, why not take out the terrorists without the support of President Ibrahim Traore? Tell me what you think about this in the comment section.
1945, in a congratulatory telegram to the head of the Soviet government, Joseph Stalin, Emperor Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia noted, and I quote, "This victory, which brings us the end of the most savage tyranny the world has ever known, has brought us to the threshold of an era of greater happiness and greater justice for all peoples who were threatened with annihilation." End of quote. We remember and value the fact that hundreds of thousands of Africans fought in the armies of the anti-Hitler coalition, bringing victory closer. In turn, the defeat of Nazism contributed to the development of the national liberation movement and accelerated the collapse of the colonial system. Our country made a tremendous contribution to the process of decolonization, which was based on one of the key principles of the UN Charter, the right of nations to self-determination. For many years, we have selflessly supported Africans in their struggle for freedom and independence, consistently assisting the formation of young states and their comprehensive socio-economic development. Today, Russia continues to help strengthen Africa's position as a distinctive and influential center of global development. In particular, we support Africans' aspiration to obtain permanent representation on. We will continue to assist interested African countries in strengthening their defense capabilities and countering terrorism, as well as ensuring food and energy security. In recent years, the African continent, establishing itself as one of the pillars of a stable multipolar world order, has achieved impressive results. Such progress has largely been made possible thanks to the collective will of Africans to address common challenges and achieve shared goals. We welcome the dynamic development of integration processes that contribute to strengthening solidarity on the continent and make its voice more influential. The African Union plays a key role in this regard. The colors of the Union's flag, adopted in 2010, are highly symbolic. The green color represents African aspirations and the desire for unity. Gold stands for Africa's wealth and its bright future. White represents the purity of the desire to have true friends around the world. Russia remains a reliable and loyal partner to Africans in strengthening their sovereignty, whose main threat continues to be persistent neocolonial practices. In this regard, we believe that the theme of 2025 in the African Union is in keeping with the spirit of the times, which states justice for Africans and people of African descent through the payment of reparations.
So we have some major breaking news coming from Burkina Faso. So the police in Burkina Faso have captured a vehicle, trucks that were carrying terrorists in Burkina Faso territory. You won't believe that these trucks were labeled as humanitarian aid and they belonged to a Western nation. And they were saying that there is a lot of trouble in Burkina Faso. People need food and they're bringing humanitarian aid. And instead of passing through the borders, they went around the country and passed through the border between Burkina Faso and Togo. And as these trucks were getting into Burkina Faso, you won't believe that the army in Burkina Faso suspected that there must be something that has been carried in that is not supposed to get into Burkina Faso, and when they opened the trucks, people just started coming out, and it turned out that these are terrorists who were planning to take down Ibrahim Traore and cause destabilization in Burkina Faso. It looks like the Western nation that is against Ibrahim Traore is so much committed to use all the money that they have to ensure that Burkina Faso President Ibrahim Traore is down. But again, God has helped them. The video is very, very shocking.
U.S. Army General Michael Langley also said that Africa don't need to be militarized, that Russia and China troops don't need to be in Africa, but he wants U.S. troops to be in Africa, and the U.S. troops have been in Africa for many years without Russia and China troops here in Africa. Even right now, China troops are not here in Africa, Russia troops are not here in Africa, but the U.S., they are panicking. They say that these two countries, their troops, their influence here in Africa is a big threat to U.S. interests in the same Africa. Listen to this.
Speaking of that, because the reaction out of the statements that you made about Burkina Faso were several African leaders feeling you are speaking on sovereignty issues that America shouldn't be, and as a result there are those who see the role of Africa as less of a partner in the war against shared threats, as you mentioned, and more of a protector of Western or American economic interests that allows access to Africa's vast mineral resources, and as more of a paternalistic relationship than one of respect amongst peers. What would you respond to that?
I respond that there's others on the globe that do that. There's others on the globe that
Like
do
who?
that. I'm going to even bring it up. We should even already know, okay? But I'm going to even bring that up.
Okay.
We respect their sovereignty. We respect their decisions. We respect their decisions of who they choose as a security partner.
So you're not concerned about China and Russia expanding their military and economic influence across the continent?
We are concerned about it, yes.
What about it concerns you?
Well, their influence. Their influence may not be looked upon as being a positive influence.
For who? For America or for Africa?
Well, for Africans, okay? And then so Americans have that have that in mind, that for the African people and across all countries be able to hit their maximum potential and independence and sovereignty and also freedoms by rules-based international order, being able to get on the global stage and take a leadership role and provide for the people in peace and stability. Some of those aims are not the same as the approach of those other countries on the global stage. So that's my perspective.
Do you have a counter strategy?
Do we have a counter strategy as far as to
China, Russia, their presence, because you say it doesn't align with the shared values?
Well, what we watch is the continent of Africa does not need to be militarized, let's put it that way. Does not need to be militarized. So we watch, as far as security agreements and what does it mean? Is it really for the stability to fight the threats of a African country, or is it for them and their ability to establish a global hegemon of basis? That's what concerns us.
This man is just an agent United States using against Africa. They always use our own to fight Africans or any leader here in Africa that want to develop Africa. This man, again, take a look at what he said, that Russia and China, they are a big threat for United States interests here in Africa. Oh my goodness. Our leaders are just puppets. They are not doing anything. See, these people who leave the United States, their country, they will be here in Africa, all daring who will be in Africa, who we can make friends, who we can sign ties, both securities and bilateral deal here in Africa. They will dictate it for us.
Breaking news. This is some sad news just coming in from Burkina Faso. France is now using a different woman to attack Burkina Faso. A 32-year-old woman fluent in English, Arabic and France was arrested at Ouagadougou International Airport attempting to smuggle in 750 grams of Semtex, a powerful plastic explosive, into Burkina Faso. The woman was fully dressed in Arabic attire. The fluency in speaking blended her in. During inspection, authorities discovered a case labeled therapeutic gel for arthritis relief. They were suspicious on it and they decided to make for the test. After the test, the authorities found out it was Semtex. That was a substance that could cause a massive destruction in small quantities. You can see the French are still into Burkina Faso. They want to destabilize Burkina Faso. They don't want to leave Ibrahim Traore alone. You can imagine, this is a different person they've used. And just recently they used a man. And now they've sent another woman. Tell us, what are these people into? They are still in disbelief that Ibrahim Traore sent them away and they have no space in Burkina Faso. Anyway, just leave your comment at the comment section about the whole thing.